Paper 2, problem 4. This one's not too bad because it's what we've been doing recently in class. So using the law of sines, cosines, and the formula for area, as you'll see. The first thing is check and make sure everything on the triangle is labeled, which it is. All the information, yes, all the sides. I always like to do this too, as you know. That would be side A is always across from angle A, side B is down here, and side C is there. I just think it helps when you set up your formulas. First of all, find the sides of angle BCA. The middle letter is your vertex, so BCA is here. And always first consider law of sines. Do you have two pairs of opposites? In other words, 105 is opposite 80, so that's a pair of opposites, and the angle we're trying to find is opposite 35. So yeah, you can use the law of sines. So it's the sine of C over the side C, which is 35, equals the sine of A, which is 105, over side A, which is 80. And the rest is calculator. Just go 35 times sine 105, whatever that is, punch that in, and then you got that equals 80 times sine C. When you cross multiply the other way, divide both sides by 80. So on your calculator, 35 times sine 105, close your parentheses, divided by 80, you're looking for the angle, so you're going to use inverse sine. So just take inverse sine of that, whatever the calculator gives you on that amount. And you should get 3 sig figs 25.0 degrees. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up here and label that, because I might use that in a minute. 25.0 degrees. Let's see what part B asks for. Calculate the length of AD. Ooh, AD is from here to there. So we want that length. Well, let's see what we know here. Since D is the midpoint, we know this is 40. And what else do we know? We can figure out, let's go up here and figure out what this angle is. Since we have two of the angles on the triangle, we got the 105 and the 25 on the original triangle. If you add those together, that's 130, which makes this one 50. So it's a good thing to label everything you know to figure out how you're going to do this. At this point, we're looking for this length, which I'm going to call x. And I think it looks like we can use the law of cosines, because we know the angle opposite x and we know the two sides surrounding that angle. So you have side, angle, side. And when you have a side, angle, side situation, you can use the law of cosines. So the x squared is going to equal one side squared, which is 35 squared, plus the other side squared, which is 40 squared, minus 2 times 35 times 40, times the cosine of the angle, which is opposite the side you're trying to find, 50. And there you go. So you can just punch all this in, and don't forget, you have to hit your square root button after you get that result. So if you multiply all that in, add and multiply, you will get, and hit the square root button, you'll get the answer of 26.1 meters. Again, include your units. Okay, now, the farmer wants to build a fence around the whole big triangle. So do we know all the sides so we can do that? Calculate the total length of the fence, so we're going to have to find, it looks like we're going to have to find little b. Do we know little c? Yeah, we know little c. We know this side is 35. We know the other side is 80, so all you got to find is b. So the easiest way to do that is just go back to the original triangle and see if we have pairs of opposites. So 50 and b are opposite, and 105 and 80 are opposite, so we can use the law of sines. So the sine of 50 over b, little b, equals the sine of, which one do I want to use? It really doesn't matter. The sine of, I said 105, I'll use that one, 105 over 80. And there you go. So cross multiply, set up your equation. Just to save time, I'm not going to write all that out. It's just 80 times sine of 150 divided by the sine of 105. And that'll give you the length of B, which turns out to be 63.44. We can just say 63.4. Now that's just B. We want the total length of the fence. Well, look at your picture. If that's 63.4, then just add that 35, 80, and you had the total perimeter of the fence. The farmer pays $802.50 for that fence. Find the cost per meter. Cost per meter. Well, if you know what that means cost over the meters, number of meters. Just take the cost, which is $802.50, and divide by the total number of meters of fence, which we just found to be 63.4. If you do that, you should get about $4.50. So $4.50 is the answer. Okay, moving right along, calculate the area of triangle ABD. Well, you can use the area formula. It's looking a little messy up there now, but the area formula is, from your formula packet, 1/2 AB sine C. We've got all that information. It's just, this is plug and chug. Just put it in 1/2 of A. What's A? A is 80. B is 63.4. Sine of C was 25.0. Whoops, I forgot to stick the word sine in there. The sine of 25.0. So it's 1/2 times 80 times 63.4 times the sine of 25. Straight punch into your calculator. You should get 1072.4. Now that's area, so square meters are your units. And the last one for this problem, a layer of earth 3 centimeters thick is removed from that triangle. Find the volume removed. Mildly tricky, but not hard at all, because volume is just the area times the height. Well, you know the area. You just found it in the previous problem. So the area of any surface times the thickness or the height of that surface will give you the volume. So the height is 3 centimeters, but be careful because everything else is in meters. So 3 centimeters is 0.03 meters. That's where they trick you on that one. So consider your units. Punch, punch. You got this answer. You get 32.2 cubic meters. Cubic because it's volume. And there's the answer to F. And we are done with problem number 4.